You know, sparkling apple juice is great, but sometimes you just gotta have some grape juice in life, right? Hey kids, welcome back. You know, 2024 is right around the corner. That means it's time for This Beautiful Place 2024. This year's calendar is now officially on sale. One thing I'm stoked about this year is the price is the same as last year. So with GST, it's $30 and then shipping and handling on top of that. So click the link down below in the description and head over to the photoHuch website. That's photoHuch, F-O-T...
I don't even know how to spell my name.
photohuch.com, photohuch.com. Head over to the photoHuch website and the pop-up will happen as soon as you hit the website, or in the bottom menu screen on the bottom on the left-hand side. Boom, it's right there. That's photohuch.com.
I suck at spelling.
I do this little sit down every year because when I buy a calendar online from a photographer, I really hate that you don't get to see any of the photos. So you're looking at a calendar and wanting to get it, but you don't know what they have and they only show you one or two. So I want to go through every photo of this year's calendar with you today. Let's get the ball rolling with January, but first I gotta have a little grandma rheumatism medicine. Okay, let's go. January. Castle Mountain is one of Banff's iconic mountains. It's pretty much dead center in between Lake Louise turnoff and Banff town site. You can't miss it. It's at the corner of the Trans-Canada and Highway 93. Castle Mountain Junction is where I shot this shot. If you want to know how I got this shot, click the link above. There's a video on my channel on how I got this shot. I even forgot to turn on the microphone in the beginning of the video for this shot, but still worked out. Love this shot. It's Castle Mountain for January. February is all about Johnson Lake. If you're heading out to Lake Minnewanka and driving the Lake Minnewanka loop, you'll come across Johnson Lake. If you're coming from Lake Minnewanka from Banff, so it's Banff, Lake Minnewanka, Tujack, then Johnson Lake is a great little location. There's a sandy little beach there. They just redid the parking lot recently, and now it's becoming popular, but it was this hidden little gem for locals and people who kind of knew about Johnson Lake. Early in the morning there's always elk there as well. I had a friend who went paddleboarding, Melissa, I'm talking about you, went paddleboarding there and had a herd of elk that they had to walk past the parking lot to get to the lake. I did a video where I spent the day, kind of midday, going around Banff in the winter just to see if you could get any kind of keeper shots, and this was one of the shots. Here's the link for that bad boy. Check it out. Johnson Lake, February. It's been a month, come on. Moving ahead to March, it's, I think, Canada's most iconic main street. This is Banff Avenue, looking straight down Banff Ave, Cascade Mountain. We're just by the CIBC if you're familiar with Banff. I wasn't too happy when I made the video about the light, but looking at the shots, they turned out pretty well. What would launch this shot over the top would be a fresh blanket of snow on the road on Banff Ave as you head down Cascade Mountain in the background. But it didn't happen that night before, so you just make the best of what you can. Cloud cover obscured most of the sunrise, but there's a little just pinch of alpine glow. This is a blended image, so the street lights are on in one image and the mountain is from another image, and I just put them in Photoshop and blended them together. Like I said, there's a video, so click the link. It is March? It's March, and it's Banff Ave. Time for April. We're heading to Surprise Corner. It's a really well-known spot. It's a great spot to photograph the Banff Springs Hotel, Canada's mountain castle. What can be said about Fairmont Banff Springs Hotel that hasn't already been said? It's beautiful, it's stunning, it's gorgeous. Nothing else needs to be said about this iconic location. What's cool about the Banff Springs Hotel too is it's iconic and beautiful, and you can walk through. You don't have to be a guest. You can walk through and explore it and see all the stunning, beautiful interior and architectural designs to it. One thing I would have loved to have done is taken my mom when she was alive to Banff Springs Hotel for high tea. I highly recommend that. Check it out, Banff Springs Hotel. It's awesome. There's a little surprise in this picture. If you zoom into the middle of it, there's somebody running along the pathway there. It's a little hidden gem. I really love this shot. When I first got into photography, I discovered Forget-Me-Not Pond. It's just past Elbow Falls along Highway 22X. As you leave Calgary, you pass Bruce Meadows. It's about an hour's drive outside of the city. And like I said, when I first got into photography, this is one of the locations I went out a lot at the beginning of my photography career, just to figure out how to work a camera, figure out all the settings, work on composition. I really like Forget-Me-Not Pond. It's, again, one of those locations that's gotten extremely busy, but weekdays, especially kind of evening, supper time-ish, just after supper, I've been out there a bunch of times and been the only one out there. It's great. Also, at nighttime during August for the Perseus meteor shower, this spot, it's perfect for watching the meteors. It's May and it's Forget-Me-Not Pond. You know, in 2022, I shot a wedding out at Buffalo Mountain Lodge in Banff, and I discovered this location when I was out looking for places to shoot the bride and groom. By the way, congratulations to Paul and Jamie. You guys rocked it. But this location is just down the hill from the reservoir at Buffalo Mountain. Tunnel Mountain's the mountain that it's on, but if you look for the Buffalo Mountain Lodge and walk across the street, boom, there's the reservoir. It's a covered up reservoir, so it's not open water, and just go below it, and that's where this shot is. So check it out, June, Mount Rundle. July is all about summer. Canada Day, the Stampede is on. In Alberta, you gotta be in Calgary and you gotta experience it. The fireworks every night are phenomenal. This is a little different spot for normal photography for the fireworks for Stampede, in the fact that everybody usually goes up to behind the Stampede grounds up on the hill called Scotsman's Hill. This is literally right down at the bottom near the main gates of the Stampede, just behind that. If you look at the photograph, in the bottom part of the photograph, it's dark, but you can kind of make out the Elbow River there. So it's right along the path system of the Elbow River, looking towards the Stampede grounds, and in the smoke in the background is the Saddle Dome, which probably is not going to be here in about 2 or 3 years because they're going to be building a new building for the hockey team here in town. So unfortunately, that iconic building is not going to be there in a couple of years, but you know, the new building will be built and it'll be part of the skyline and we'll shoot it. It's July, it's Calgary, it's fireworks. Summertime in the prairies is all about canola fields and that bright, blooming yellow flower for the canola. And this photo is actually a special spot for me. It's a place that really means a lot to me. This is an aunt and uncle of mine and their farm. And I didn't want to focus in on the farm. I wanted to focus in on the canola just to have it ghosted in the background and just have a little special memory, keepsake for me, because they're no longer living on the farm. They've moved into town because they're retired and living a good life now and not working like dogs on the farm anymore. But this spot is pretty awesome. I love it. It just shows the rural community off really well, I think. And not having the barn in focus, I really think is a good choice for this shot because it just, those flowers for canola are just beautiful. It is August and it's near Bashaw, Alberta. With the explosion in social media, all these little hidden gems have become super popular. And this is one of the spots now that has become really popular. Sheep River Falls and the Sheep River Provincial Park used to be pretty deserted for photography, and now they're changing Sheep River Falls. They're going to put in some path systems and some railings, and it's super busy. But this shot, as you come up to the Sheep River Falls, there's a rest area and a lookout, and then just around the bend there's another rest area kind of hidden in the trees. If you park there and then walk through the trees, you overlook this torn out canyon that the Sheep River has carved its way through. I love this photo, just the gnarliness of that canyon. It's not smooth in a winding bend. It's like a dinosaur bite mark has been taken out of it. It's almost like Godzilla came and just took a big bite out of the landscape. Love it. Sheep River Provincial Park, September. For October, we drive the Columbia Icefields Road and head out to Bow Lake. I've done a video on this one as well. Bow Lake is just a hidden gem. When you're standing on the shoreline, you see the Bow Glacier off to the right-hand side. It is a great, beautiful reflection area when the wind isn't blowing to get that mountain on the lake. That avalanche rock pile at the bottom of the mountain across the lake makes Bow Lake just a stunning place to shoot. I really like this area off to the one side. I always go there and get a shot and then start exploring. In the winter, Bow Lake is such a great place to shoot. You can find hidden gems all along the shoreline. Everybody goes to the little walking bridge that is near the parking lot that they see from the washrooms, but just walk around that area. I do recommend though that if you go to Bow Lake in the winter, you've got to wear snowshoes because the snow gets pretty deep out there. Check it out. It's Bow Lake. I like to have 1 month in my calendar that's dedicated to astrophotography. Sometimes I put a couple in, but at minimum I like to have at least one nighttime shot. This is the iconic Vermilion Lakes Mount Rundle Banff shot. It's really simple and easy to get to. You're right behind the town of Banff. You park your car, you walk across the road, and you're right there on the shorelines of Vermilion Lakes. One little trick about this shot, it's a 20-minute exposure shot, but it's not one long 20-minute exposure shot like I like to do. For this area with Vermilion Lakes Road there and all the traffic that comes by, the headlights of the car are going to really wash out your foreground a lot when you do a long exposure. So you can be, 10, 15 minutes into exposure and a car goes by and ruin your shot and you got to start over. So what I did for this shot was 20-second exposures, put on the cable release and just let the shutter go 20 seconds at a time, just popping all these shots. So then I popped it in the computer, put it in Star Stacker, and what that program does is it takes all the photos, stacks them all up like a deck of cards, and then blends it all together into one photo so you get those streaks. And I love the results of this photo. This is Time Warp in Banff with iconic Mount Rundle. Woo! We made it to the end. It is December. Like a lot of cities around, the local zoo here, the Calgary Zoo, does zoo lights. They put up Christmas lights throughout the zoo, and it's a great way to increase funding in a time when zoos are really struggling. And they use the money for conservation and keeping their doors open. But last year, they added some First Nations representation, and I love what they did down there. And to have Canada's First Nations represented at the zoo and zoo lights and just represented it in general, I think it's just a wonderful thing. So check it out. It's December, it's zoo lights, it's First Nations, it's Canada. I love it. And it's Christmas. And there you have it. The 2024 calendar is now officially on sale. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I'm really happy to keep the price exactly the same as last year. So with GST, it's $30 and then shipping on top of that. Head over to the website. The link is in the description underneath here. You guys sell me out every year, and I'm so grateful for that you guys support me every year at Christmas time. I always think calendars are kind of old school and gone the way of the dodo bird thanks to computers and iPhones, but every year you guys step up and sell me out, and I'm so grateful for that, and I appreciate that. I just want to say thank you. In the meantime and in between time, stay healthy, stay safe. I'll catch you next time, guys.
And as always, guys, please rock the subscribe button and ring the bells for notifications. We'll check you next time.